This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research.
From UFOs to weird things we know, it's time for that paranormal, strange, phenomenal show. Biometric wars, a prison planet run by the man. It's time for the Tinfoil Canadian. Take off your hose!
Hello, fellow foilers, and welcome once again to the Tinfoil Canadian, the show where the aliens are real and the archives are unsealed. On today's episode, we ask the questions: are clones walking among us? How long has humanity been able to duplicate themselves? Do clones have souls? Are the Hollywood elite using clones to be able to be in multiple places at once to accomplish multiple tasks? Hop on the old skidoo and hold on to your toques as we have a double take at the world of the clones, eh?
What if you could order a twin? Would you dare to clone yourself? Human cloning, a threat or an advancement? One of the most debated topics in modern science, human cloning. Since Dolly the sheep was cloned in 1996, human cloning has moved from fiction to serious scientific and ethical debate. But what is human cloning, and could it pose a threat? What is human cloning? Cloning creates a genetically identical copy of an organism. In humans, this could mean producing a person with the exact DNA of another. There are two main types: reproductive cloning, aiming to create a living human clone, and therapeutic cloning, producing cells or tissues for medical purposes like organ regeneration. Scientific possibilities. Therapeutic cloning could revolutionize medicine. Perfect genetic matches for organs could eliminate transplant rejection. Stem cell research may cure diseases like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. Reproductive cloning is more controversial, raising questions about individuality, identity, and psychological well-being. Ethical concerns. Would clones have the same rights as naturally born humans? Could cloning increase inequality, giving the wealthy access to designer humans? Psychologically, growing up as a genetic copy could affect identity, personality, and social interactions. Potential risks. Animal experiments show high failure rates, deformities, and premature death. Human cloning could result in serious harm. Misuse could create unethical outcomes, like designer humans or soldiers, sparking societal crises. Cultural and historical perspectives. Myths and legends have long explored artificial life, from the golem to modern films. Cloning brings these fears and fascinations into real science, blurring the line between myth and reality. The future of human cloning. Cloning is scientifically possible in animals, but is society ready to use it responsibly? Could it save lives, or create ethical and social dilemmas? The coming decades will decide if cloning is a tool for progress or a Pandora's box of challenges. Conclusion: human cloning intersects science, ethics, and philosophy. It challenges our understanding of identity and what it means to be human. Whether an opportunity or a danger, cloning remains one of the most compelling questions of our time.
Well, now that we all understand the basics of cloning, without having to get a bachelor's in science and bioengineering, let's try to figure out how long they've been able to clone humans for.
I'm very, very pleased to announce that the first baby clone is born. She was born yesterday at 11:55 a.m. in the country where she was born. So this will not give you more details about the location. She's fine. We call her Eve between us. You knew that, of course.
So Bill Clinton says this almost 20 years ago, but people still think it's too far out that there could be clones among us. And before anyone says that this is AI or something, you can go see this original clip on YouTube. He did indeed say this. And this was following the cloning of Dolly the sheep. Check this out.
I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire nation have had a real chance to understand and debate the profound ethical implications of the latest advances. As we gain a fuller understanding of this technology, we must proceed not just with caution, but also with a conscience. By insisting that not a single taxpayer dollar supports human cloning, and by urging a moratorium on all private research in this area, we can ensure that as we move forward on this issue, we weigh the concerns of faith and family, and philosophy and values, not merely of science alone.
So how sure are we that this moratorium stood the test of time, let's say?
Many believe they have been able to clone humans since before 2003. Here are some videos that support that cloning and famous imposters have been around a lot longer than that.
Imagine Paul McCartney wasn't always quite himself.
There's some things that are best said after we leave the planet. Understand? And so that's basically what it is. There was one piece of information that somebody gave me in London about this whole story that I'm not sure if it's key, but it certainly is important. And I'll let people just guess at what it is until I put it down on paper, and I may never see it. And then the Beatles may not even be around, but someday it'll come out.
You doing fantastic, Paul McCartney. You are really one of the best Paul McCartney impersonator, ever.
What's it like to do what? It's lovely. Look, excuse me, I've got to say hello to my friend. Hello.
We're going to go on after that.
What would you like playing with Billy Shepherd instead of fucking Paul McCartney? Who's Billy Shepherd? I don't know. Billy Shears. Billy Shears Campbell. Thank you. That's all you had to say, my friend.
Why isn't your brother producing it? If you were any good, you'd be on his label. And they automatically don't listen to your tape. Well, that is a good question. I haven't seen Toll since my dad died 20 years.
And for Ruth, that is the biggest puzzle of all. Why Paul, once a loving and devoted big brother, no longer is in...
Things so awful happened. Someone I'd loved for a long time, I found out had betrayed me immensely. And I don't mean infidelity or anything like that. Like, beyond belief. People don't want to know what the truth is because they could never, ever handle it. They would be too devastated. Protected Paul for this long, and I'm trying to protect him, but I am being pushed to the edge. And that's as much as I can say, or I go to jail for telling the truth. So I'm gagged at the moment because I'm not allowed to say a word while the media are fed this spin by a certain corner. Media, a certain part of the tabloid media, created such a hate campaign against me that they put my life and my daughter's life at risk. I have protected my husband. I know everything and I know the truth. I have a box of evidence that is going to a certain person should anything happen to me. So if you top me off, it's still going to go to that certain person and the truth will come out. There is such a fear from a certain party of the truth coming out that lots of things have been put out and done. I'm not allowed to talk about it because it's a criminal act. You have no idea what's going on. These figures are made up to be able to sell your story. And then again, people... rubbish! I can sell my story right now. I'm trying to protect Paul and our daughter. I am trying and I'm being pushed to the edge. I'm not allowed to talk about it because it's a criminal act. Because it's a criminal act. Because it's a criminal act.
You start off in school and they take your soul away.
When was the last time you saw your brother?
The last time?
Yeah.
Was his funeral, I think.
Really? When was the last time? I don't know. You don't know?
Yeah, I mean, before I came, yeah.
Oh, well, that was, fairly recently then?
Some may believe that Paul was the first celebrity clone, or at least the first celebrity imposter. Is there any real proof that celebrity clones exist and are common in today's society?
Is cloning real?
Of course it is.
People are being cloned?
For sure. I mean, why is it that if it's not real, why is it that we have an international law banning human cloning? Just saying. So you don't think that they have human clones running around in Hollywood, in politics?
They say Jamie Foxx was a clone.
They did say that. I mean, didn't he have a tattoo on his head and then it disappeared? It's kind of weird. And that was a real tattoo. It wasn't for a movie, and no, he had a tattoo and...
Yeah, that tattoo disappeared.
It's gone.
He did have a tattoo.
I remember that tattoo in the...
Yeah.
It disappeared. Where'd it go? And then he does a movie called They Clone Tyrone.
He did do that movie.
About a government operation where they're infiltrating the hood and they're cloning people to perpetuate the lifestyle.
So they want to throw it in our face.
They always throw it in your face.
What's next for you guys? It's been 4 years since Dirty Computer. We're going to get some new
you're
music
really going
next
to
year.
remind me of that. Really. Actually, you will. You will get music. Because I now have a clone. And that clone does all of my music. And then I, have another clone for acting. I'm not going to tell you if it's me or not. What the name is.
They're making music right now, right?
Yeah, they're in the studio right now. And I just feel so humbled and just super, super blessed to be able to be doing anything, and doing something like this. It's like you don't take it lightly. Yeah.
Do you have a clone yet, Daniel?
No. Maybe for Christmas. They are. They're not useful as Janelle's clone.
Your eyes are not as blue as they were yesterday.
Is it possible that people have been duplicating themselves so they can get more things done in a week? Is Jamie Foxx a clone imposter because his former self was rebelling against the Hollywood elite? Perhaps Mr. Fox has a celebrity double to lure fans away. I have seen videos of Mr. Beast imposters. How many other celebrity clones or imposters have been produced by Hollywood?
Celebrities who were supposedly cloned or replaced. Avril passed away after her first album. She was replaced by the probably fictional Melissa Vandella, apparently a lookalike and Avril's best friend. Paul McCartney had passed away in a car accident in 1966. His fellow Beatles were so worried about the effect on their careers that they replaced them with a guy called William Shears Campbell. Beyoncé had passed away in 2010 for unknown reasons. The reason why we think she is a lizard person is because the clone is defective. And in some performances, you can see her skin malfunction. Megan Fox is just a bunch of clones who are getting replaced every time she appears she is aging. Fox is replaced once in a while with clones created by the government, and it is referred as Fagin. Happy hunting.
Could it be that our favorite stars are reborn into cloned bodies when they pass away prematurely? Are their very DNA under a dark Hollywood contract that must be fulfilled?
I think Kanye is a clone. I wholeheartedly believe what I'm about to say. I think there are clones, and I'm going to tell you why. Remember, he was really talking a lot. The cabal didn't like that, The Illuminati, the cabal, they did not like how much he was saying. He was calling a lot of people out, and he said, if I go away and I come back and I look different, that is not me.
If I ever went anywhere, we'd know why.
What the fuck happened? He was gone for a little while. No, hold on.
He wanted to gain weight. I would do that too. I'm going to do that next summer.
Look at him. Compare old photos of him. It's not the same person. It's not. Don't cancel me, Hollywood.
How do you think that these people would hide that, Kristen? If somebody tried to clone you, I would scream it from the top of the mountains like that's not Kristen.
You literally will get killed.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I believe this with every ounce in my body.
You think that you could make one of the biggest pop stars in the world just disappear and nobody would come forward?
The people who are going to come out and say something get killed.
There's weird shit happening, but some of it's too far.
Is Kanye an example of a person that Hollywood could not keep quiet? What other stars are breaking the law or getting away from being prosecuted through the use of clones.
Diddy has a clone. Apparently there's this thing spreading around where people are saying that the person that's actually in jail is not the real Diddy. Let me catch you up to speed. This is a real photo of Diddy. Notice the markings on his face. They're very prominent and they are from the real Diddy. However, in this mugshot right here, you do not see these markings at all. So people are claiming that whoever is in jail, allegedly, supposedly, is not the real Diddy. This photo always terrified me. There's just something off about this photo. To make matters even more weird, Diddy's private jet is still flying around as we speak and making stops in various locations around the world. Just a few days ago, his private jet was spotted at Auckland Airport, a spot normally reserved for private aircraft. This is from the account Celebrity Jets. They're actually tracking P. Diddy's private jet flight path, and this is when it was landing at New Zealand. And 2 days ago, it was at Honolulu, Hawaii. This is the actual private jet that Diddy owned. And you can see him getting off this private jet here. So what do you guys think?
It is scary to think that people might be able to get away with anything through the use of cloning. Is this next clip evidence of how the wealthy can afford the time to do whatever they want, like a bunch of teenage hosers, by being able to be in multiple places at the same time through cloning? Are the wealthy using duplicates of themselves to achieve more and maybe perhaps even living forever with cloning and DNA memory transfers?
As soon as you die, they could actually freeze your body.
Well, what happened with my first gen is they took the skull because he initially had written in a will to the Raelian movement that if something were to happen to him, they can ship the skull over immediately to Clonade. So they can remove a fragment of bone that's located here. And in this fragment of bone, it stores all of your memories and consciousness. And with that, they can make a sufficient replica of yourself, a reproductive version of you, including your memories. And you can be selective as to which ones you keep or don't keep. And this process has been around for quite some time. Like Dolly the sheep was cloned back in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Dolly the sheep, yeah, I remember that. And they've cloned a lot of animals over the years.
Yeah, Clonade, I don't want to say too much information. This is going to be broadcast on the internet.
But I don't think they could transfer the actual memories, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're living proof of this?
Yeah, I'm living proof. Except all the memories. A lot of them I don't have because of drugs and alcohol I abused as a teenager. So it's kind of like burning an MP3 CD, right? So let's say, we don't do this, people don't do this anymore, but back in the day, you would bootleg a CD, you would need the original copy. You put it in, it reads the disc, transfers all the files. You have the same exact CD, it's the same thing. All the tracks, everything, every bar, every hit from every note, everything's gonna be on there. Now, if I scratch that CD, I may not be able to read all the files on the disc, making it impossible to transfer and make a new one, a new copy. I think it's amazing that they even were able to make Gucci Mane.
Right, because they cloned him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Clonade did. I'm pretty sure like that was done from a separate company, but yeah, clearly.
Right, everyone was saying he was cloned as soon as he got out of jail. He looked different, he talked different.
Yeah, even his teeth, and the smile.
Right, he was smiling a lot more.
Yeah, he did, definitely. I like Gucci. I like new Gucci. I like second gen Gucci.
Second gen Gucci. Okay, so Gucci was the first hip hop clone, but you're the second.
Maybe if there's others, I don't know.
Are the elite using cloning for their own evil and twisted plans?
They found a file talking about them cloning celebrities. Oh. Listen, this is so messed up.
Yeah.
Cloning celebrities so that they can do things to the young version of that celebrity that they wanted.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So they were investing millions. No, sorry. There's the file there, investing billions into cloning and trying to clone celebrities, specifically Britney Spears at the time, so that they could do things to a young version of that clone.
All just because?
So check this out. In the files, it stated that this clone might be like 15 years old today. if the clone is still alive.
Holy
and
smokes.
is pretty much like Britney Spears' clone.
Yeah,
so
I'm not gonna lie.
1, cloning might be real.
Yeah.
Okay. 2, they don't do it for the things we think.
Yeah. I thought it was like, oh, you have more people on Earth, you can do jobs and shit. No, it's literally for.
It's messed up.
That was truly messed up. And it makes you really wonder what was truly going on at that disgusting island. Is the government also involved with copying humanity? And perhaps even more than that? For their own hidden agendas?
And in the hybrid programs that I was associated with, they were cloning not only species like plants and animals, but they were also regenerating tissues of extraterrestrials and growing them and then cloning them. And then they started cloning humans a very long time ago. It's interesting now that in the news, after talking about this a few times, that now they're coming for China just has been doing it forever, but in their underground facilities, cloning people, cloning, of course, you heard about they cloned their first primate. And hey, they can clone a primate. This verifies what I'm talking about. They can definitely clone a human. And they're also growing humans for organs. But clones are everywhere. Human, extraterrestrial, they're wandering all over. You know, some people will refer to these as doppelgangers because they can grow a human to look like someone and mind program and implant them with circuitry and things like this. And they will really think they had this life and implant them into a business or into whatever organization they want.
Well, is there a hidden agenda? Because you've just brought something up that just scares the living daylights out of me. To replace us with a clone, and who would know the difference?
This is one of the probably only times, George, that you got me on a negative part, because there is an agenda. There are hundreds of people being cloned in underground facilities in Australia and in some parts of the United States. There's no reason to, clone people and keep it a secret and make horrible experiments on these people and mind implant them.
We're primarily concerned about humans cloning human for their own purpose.
Right.
But what about ETs cloning humans?
I mean, it's possible. I'm not aware of any extraterrestrials that are, cloning humans. I am aware of extraterrestrial beings that are collecting DNA from humans.
That's been ongoing.
But for a good reason, not for a bad reason. They can make anything too. I mean, they're already at an advanced level of science that we would not understand to do that if they needed to.
Is a clone Emery basically human being identical to the clone? And so they eat, they sleep, they do everything that a human does?
No, because they still have to go through the growing process. It's a lot of work.
You can't speed that up.
Well, they have sped it up. They can make a George Norrie in about 8 years from baby to you.
Okay.
The problem is the brain cannot grow that fast as the body can. There seems to be a problem they're having with the brains.
What's the agenda? What's the mission here? To clone?
I don't know that agenda. I can just give you my opinion on it, that they would use it for a fear type thing, such as a fake alien invasion, definitely control, like a secret army, a secret group of assassins. It's very frightful just to know that they're doing this on a mass production conveyor belt is horrifying enough.
Well, that is truly scary. To think that the alien clone agenda and mind implants could actually exist. Well, that is all the time we have for the episode, fellow foilers. Tune in next time as we explore more strange and mysterious TikToks and videos from around the world. Until then, stay warm and be nice to your neighbor, eh?